Good morning. Welcome to today's flight. We're taking this beautiful aircraft, the Toliss A321 Neo XLR, from here at Manchester, my home airport, down to Palma in Mallorca. So please stay with me and we'll be in the flight deck in 1 second. Well, we're here in the flight deck. Our flight today is EZ54 Golf Mike. As I say, we're taking this great aircraft down to Mallorca. I am using Skymaxx Pro. I was going to do this video yesterday, but there are a few issues with version 5. This is version 5.01. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is connect the external power. And as you can see, everything's lit up. Let's put the batteries on. Okay. And turn the gears. Okay, so they're aligning now. This is my first video, so please bear with me. I am going to have to try and find my feet with this, of course. But hope you enjoy it. You'll notice we're only getting 20 frames a second. I think this is down to the Skymaxx Pro. The outside view before, I think we had 30 odd. Usually I'd be getting 50, 60 frames a second. I've got a powerful PC. I've got a 1080 Ti, an i7 7700. No, you may have noticed that the flaps were out. Very naughty. Okay, so let's check all the nav and the primary flight displays are fully lit. Okay. So I've planned the flight using SimBrief, and it is in here hopefully. So let's just go to the MacDo, the captain's MacDo, and let's load the flight in. LEPA, that's the one there, and we're easy. 5-4 Golf Mike today. We're using cost index 35, and the cruise level today was 370, so we're quite high, aren't we, today? And we'll get those aligned. So let's have a look what our zero fuel weight is. Now, the zero fuel weight today is 61.5. And centre of gravity we'll set to 26.6. Get that in there. The estimated fuel is for the complete flight is 10,000. I've actually put an hour's extra fuel in. I'm a bit safety conscious. We don't want to run it out, but actually we only really needed for the flight. I think it's the trip fuel's 4.6. Very economical aircraft this, but we've got 10 tons. So we'll 10.1. We'll put that in. That's going to be fine for us, isn't it? So the block fuel 10.2 tons. Fantastic. And now we're ready to have a look. We are going to depart today on 2-3 left at Manchester. We're going to be using the Samba, hopefully, the Samba 1 Yankee standard instrument departure. Okay, so that's looking good. We'll set that initially to 5,000 feet. Let's quickly, isn't it? So we set that to 5,000 feet, and the Manchester QNH. Let me just. I'm using Active Sky, by the way, and it's quite low. The pressure today, 993. Yeah, so set. You can see I'm setting both sides, both my side, the captain's side, and the first officer's side. We're going to use flat one today. So we'll go back into the performance on the Mac Do, and it's showing us a V1 speed of 144, a V rotate speed of 144, and a V2 speed of 147. And we're going to be using flat one, and we'll put the trim up, flat one, and the trim up is quite a useful reference to put it in. I know a lot of people don't bother, but I tend to put it in there so I can see it when I'm after push back. We can adjust it. Flex temperature today 55. The weather here at Manchester is 0 and the dew point 0. Surface wind is coming from the north at 3 knots. Which means, actually, because we've got dew point and temperature at the same, we should have a lot of fog. Let's see how this Skymaxx Pro version 5.01 works. By the way, I'm not being sponsored by any of the companies here. The airport software we're using, this airport is the Aerosoft one. It was the free version. I got it last year. I think we're default scenery down at Mallorca. But as you know, a lot of the sceneries are very, very impressive anyway. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's stick the charts. Let's get the charts in here. So we're using Navigraph, which are excellent. You know, you do pay a premium, you know, the subscription fee, but if you're doing plenty of flight simming, it's well worth the money. There we are. You can see where we are. What stand are we on? I think we're on stand. Oh, let me just have a look up there. Stand 7. Yeah. And as you can see, this is where the EasyJet aircraft do park up in real life. You probably already noticed that I've got the ground handling, the jar ground handling, which you can have a quick look outside. Just adds to the experience, doesn't it, and the immersion. So I think what we'll do, we'll get rid of those now. Let's get back in and close the doors first. We don't want anybody falling out. So closing the doors. Very good. And we'll close the rear door, as you can see. And close the cargo doors. You can hear them from inside. We'll close that. I know it's not open actually, but and close the main door. And then we can go back inside the flight deck, and we should see these closing. Now, I don't know whether you can hear the aircraft systems. That's probably a bit better, isn't it? Yeah. As I say, this is my first video, so you know I'm going to have some real teething problems. So bear with me. I hope to produce some decent content over the next few months, and so set up there. Let's put the APU on. So first of all, master switch, and what we need to do is leave it 3 seconds to 3-ish, and then we'll start. So we should see flap open on the lower icam. Should come up, and then should start to power up. As you know, or may not know, it's a little jet engine situated in the rear of the plane. And it provides power when we're not connected to ground power, or the engines themselves are not running. Yeah, it's taken it's not quite as bad. I mean, I don't understand that. We've got 37 frames a second, 36, 35. It was 20 when we originally came in the flight deck, so I don't know exactly what's that. So the initial reference system is all aligned now, so we've got GPS all set up. That's fantastic. We're just the APU is ready, and I think we should see the light has turned to available, which is superb. So what we'll do, we'll ping pong the cabin and put the seatbelts sign on. We'll get rid of the APU, sorry, the ground power. Let me just do that. And we're ready to push, aren't we? So well, let's get, oh, better pushback, isn't it fantastic? Oh, well done, well done. Pre-plan the pushback, so we want to be about here, don't we? We're on 2-3 left today. As I said, so we'll be taxiing over 2-3 right. Let's get us push back there. Fantastic.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Okay, so let's have a look where we are. So we're set up there. We've got flight directors on. We've not got the radios on, and really, we should be tuning into the Manchester 80s, which will do. Let me get the navigate. I've not got my Navigraph charts up, so let's just put those up. Import this flight plan into it. I should have done this first, you know, it's preparation, isn't it? So quite easy. New flight from SimBrief. Use that one. EGCC to LEPA. And let's have a look at what the frequency is for the Manchester 80s. There used to be a problem. But I think that was with my UK 2000 scenery. Let's have a look. So Manchester 80s 128.180. So 128. Yeah, there was a conflict on it. I've had a lot of UK scenery, UK scenery 2000 over the years, and they announced a few days ago that they're not going to be producing anymore for X.Plane. They're still going to service it. 128.180. I don't think. On 113.550, I don't think the box will go that low, to be fair. No, well, 128.180 now. And so, but I've got the reason I'd want the 80s is for if we were on air traffic control, we're using FlyTimSim anyway today, but if we were, we'd have the particular weather and also the designator, i.e. the letter. So it could be information Alpha Delta Charlie. You've got it. Okay, so we'll just squawk 2000 today, and we'll put that on auto for now. Right, let's get the show on the road. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's flight to Palma, Mallorca. The flight time is gonna be approximately 2 hours, and it's 865 miles. We've got a bit of poor visibility to start with, but that's no problem for us. So sit back and we'll get the engine started, get push back, engine started, and we'll be taxiing out to runway 23 left. Okay, let's get...
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
So I hope it's not too loud. It is going to be a, you know, suck it and see job, this, isn't it? Because I've done a couple of test flights, but this is one that I'm recording for you to enjoy. I'm not a professional pilot. I do have a PPL though. I've flown the Grom 115, the PA-28, and in fact I learned to fly at Barton when it was called Barton, and then went to an airline training school in Florida called Flight Safety to do some hours building. And that's a while ago. I couldn't
Okay,
continue.
all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Thank you. Yeah, I had ambitions of becoming a commercial pilot, but due to some personal circumstances, unable to to carry on. Uh, but it's a great hobby. It's a little bit expensive though. So I will, over the next few weeks, hopefully have some guest appearances on the channel. Some friends of mine who are
Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
releasing park brake. Hopefully there will be guest
Starting pushback and
appearances.
you may start engines.
And thank you. Starting engine number 2. Let's just bring this up here. Yeah, what I was saying was I'm hoping to have some friends of mine to come on the channel, real world bus pilots, and go through the procedures as they should be, rather than slightly ad hoc. Now you'll notice I'm not going through the checklist as I should do. Occasionally you might forget things. If you really want to, if you're doing it in the real world, obviously this is simulation, but if you're doing it in the real world, you follow the checklist by the letter. Interesting little feature of this aircraft, have you noticed? When the engines, before the actual start, they have a period which is called a cooling period. We don't need it today, bear in mind it's 0 degrees here. And I'm not sure why that it would come into operation whilst it's so cold. But anyway, it does, doesn't it? A bit of research to be done on that one. So we're getting an engine start on number 2. Let's go and have a peep at it. Very nice. And one of the things you should do is follow the checklist, because you'd put the beacon on, wouldn't you? We'd noticed the warnings that we'd not switched the fuel pumps on. Another little mistake. So setting parking brake, thank you.
Disconnecting tow, stand by.
And we'll start engine number 1. Yeah, that little pump going. And the same thing applies there if you look at the screen here. And thank you. So I think what we'll do, we'll taxi shortly. Juliet, and then Foxtrot, Zulu.
So is
Right there.
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. So we've got a good engine start on number 1. We're just waiting for sorry, on number 2 I mean. When we're just waiting for number 1 to start up. There we are. Give him a wave. He's going to be holding the remove before flight from the pitot, and there he goes. And the pin, I believe that's what that is. Sorry, I think that's the pin that he connects the toe to. Right, thank you very much, bye. Okay, so we should really put the chrono on. I think you're looking at about 3 minutes, so we'll put it on now for engine 1 before we taxi. I think they say 3 minutes, and please, if there's anybody out there that knows more than I'm more than happy for you to correct me. Yeah, it should be a sharing community, this, and not a secretive one. Okay, we put those to auto. You wonder why I've put the landing lights, why I've dropped them down actually. They come down before they're illuminated. The next stage is to put them on. The reason for that is I'm using the Thrustmaster Warthog joystick combination, throttles, etc. And I've assigned two of the switches to the right and left landing lights, which I can conveniently use as we get lined up on the runway. So I think what we'll do now, we'll put the TCAS on. Okay, traffic collision and avoidance system. This aircraft's got a marvellous feature I'll tell you about as we get going. So let's have a look. Still a minute. So what we can do now is set flat 1. Okay, so flat 1. Let's go and have a look out the window. Very nice. Fantastic, isn't it? Really. I've been simming for a long time and wow. It's just like the real thing virtually, isn't it? Compared with where we were. I don't know whether you followed the... Sorry, so that's arming the spoilers. I'm going to put the weather radar on. In fact, I'd already put it on now. So weather radar's on now. Weather WXO weather radar for all is all up and down. So auto brake to maximum. We have armed the spoilers. So seatbelt signs are on. The cabin will give them a ping pong to let them know we're taxiing. And we'll just press the takeoff configuration test button and everything's normal there. We're coming up to 3 minutes. We'll taxi once we've had the 3 minutes because it is cold this morning. I do have failures, which I should have really taken off or knocked to a lower setting anyway, but it'll be interesting to see what happens if we do have a failure, because I've not got... I think I've got the quick reference handbook and what's the other one? What's it called? The non-normal booklet as well, but can always have a look at that. It would have a little bit of interest, right, I think we're ready to taxi. We're 3 minutes, aren't we? So what we'll do as well, we'll put the ILS. Now, one thing I didn't do, ladies and gentlemen, is put in an alternate, and let's have a look where the alternate is. We could potentially go to LEPA, couldn't we? Label. That's Barcelona, isn't it? Label. Let's go. Put that in. I do have some scenery for paid for the scenery for Barcelona. I think it's Barcelona. Okay. The other thing I didn't do, which is naughty, and we'll have to start going through the checklist proper, is just quickly go through the flight plan. Just make sure there's no discontinuities and stuff like that. I've not programmed in the arrival for Mallorca yet. We'll do that en route. Okay, I think the protocol is, I'll tell you what, I think the protocol is to do that. So I apologise for this. I am going to put it in. It's dead simple though. Just press on the port, the arrival. We're going to be using a 2-4 right. So let's see. We'll use that one, Romeo, and we're going to use the Lorries 1 Papa. Lorries 1 Papa arrival. Lorries 1 Papa, which is that one. Okay. Lorries. Where else? No. So we're not going using a via. Let's just go through it again. Make sure we've no disco. The engine will be nice and warmed up anyway, won't it? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So let's go back to the performance page and taxi light on, runway turn off lights on, brake off, and a little bit of. In fact, it taxis very nicely without too much power. Great sound on these engines. Isn't that great? I love this. I've got the Flight Factor 320, I've got the 319 in the Toliss, and I've also got the 321. But this new iteration is absolutely delightful. It's great to fly. I know there's bits missing from it, and there's stuff I really like about the Flight Factor. One of the things I really like is the fact that armrest in the Flight Factor moves out of your way, so you don't have to skim it to the left and right when you putting the weather radar on. But this is great. Let's have a look on the outside. Wow. And better look where I'm going here in a minute. So as we said, a foxtrot taxiway here, and we're going to go across. So we're going to be having a good look left and right. Now then, because we're crossing a potentially active runway, we've not got any live traffic here today, but always makes sense, doesn't it? Just before we cross, to have a look. Okay, probably should have put the park brake on and have a look up there as well. Yeah, and what we need to do as we're crossing, because we're going on an active runway, we need to put the strobes on. So let's have the strobes on. Fantastic. Now, as we're crossing, this is runway 23 right and 5 left, as you can hear. So initially climbing to altitude 5,000, the transition here today, it does vary actually, Manchester, but we'll just stick with 6,000 today. If we're using air traffic control, they'd probably tell us what the transition, and the 80s would, I suppose. Oh, I'm all over the place. Okay, beautiful. Now what I like to do is just pull the screen out. One of the things I do wish that when you set your screen out like that, from a previous journey, that it would stick in the same place. And I think we can always pull that out as well, can't we? So this on the left is what's called your primary flight display, even, and this is the navigation display. Great. So let's line it up. We're going a little bit fast, aren't we? 21 knots ground speed. Now then, we're going to take off from here. In real life you can do, and in simulated life you can do what you want. Now then, landing wise, you don't land on this bit. You need to land on the threshold up there, not on here. Okay, just a little bit of education there. So we'll hold on the we'll put the chrono back on, hold on the brakes, and 50% N1. Listen to those engines. Wow. And off. And beautiful. Manflex SRS. Interesting, we've not got runway showing. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe somebody could let me know. Oh, so side stick quarter forward until 100 knots, and then neutral, side 6 neutral. We're looking now, coming up to 140 knots, and rotate. Beautiful. And we're up, following the crosshairs. Positive rate gear up, thank you. Okay. And we'll get the autopilot in. You can see the fog. It's quite pleasant, isn't it? You like that sort of thing? Yeah, so this is Skymaxx Pro version 5.01, just out this morning. 5 was out yesterday, but they've had a few issues, and very good of them. I've not been sponsored by them. Very good of them. They've released overnight. So it's telling us to put our thrust levers to climb mode. And with climb mode, we'll have a quick look out of the window. Oh, and you can't see very much, can you? We're coming up to slat speed, and so it will actually retract them automatically, but we'll do it ourselves. Green dot speed, 220. Oh, look at this weather. Whoa. I've left the ignition on, haven't I? How fantastic is this? Oh. So I've got a few add-ons. Obviously we've got the Active Sky XP running in the background, connected via the connector to Skymaxx Pro. We've also got XP Realistic, and I think there is a little bit of a fight going on between them, which I think's been sorted out. But well, I'm all right with 39 FPS. That's fine, isn't it? Now what we're going to do, we're just following the SID, and as you know, it's at 5,000 here. What I'm going to do is just put it straight up. We'll do an initial climb to, let's say, 18,000, as you might get in real life, and pull to get open climb. That's going to start accelerating the engines again, pitching the nose up, and we should be looking at sticking under 250 knots. That's the speed limit really, under 10,000 feet. And then up after 10,000 feet, so approaching, it's showing me that I need to set standard, but we're going to go and do it at 6,000 as I originally said. Okay. Sometimes get those artifacts. I don't know if you saw that little flash then. It's not lightning. It's looking good though, isn't it? Very atmospheric. And once we're passing flight level 100, we will release the cabin crew to start the service and turn the landing lights off. You might notice I use the word flight level then, as opposed to altitude. When we pass through the transition level, that's when we start using flight levels, as opposed to feet. Okay, so let's release the cabin crew. There's no turbulence here, is there? Might want to wait just to get out to the cloud, but no, I'm happy with that. So seatbelt signs off, and oh, I didn't put the blooming landing lights on after all. I thought I had. Oh, wow. What are we doing? We could certainly put the nose wheel lights off. That's great. And let's have a look where we are. So the temperatures are good, aren't they? Just in the middle really, for us, for the forward cabin and for the aft cabin. These clouds are looking pretty impressive. Wow. Yeah, I've used Skymaxx for quite a while now. I've got XM Barrow as well, but obviously I'm not using them both together. I do like this. This new version's pretty impressive. Yeah, 41 frames a second. Okay, so what we can do, we can come out of that particular one. We'll type in LEPA in preparation for. We've got a couple of hours, haven't we? While we're there, LEPA. And let's pretend now that that we've been cleared further, and in fact to our cruising flight level of 37,000 feet. 30,000 is selected. Flight level 370, of course. Wonder why I wasn't getting any 80s before. Okay, we'll increase the range now on the navigation display. There we go. Next waypoint is Honolulu, then Ridley, Daegu, Compton, I think that is, Vapid, Sitet. That's I think we're in France then, aren't we? 37 miles to Honolulu on a bearing of 153, and there's the time Zulu 8:53. Wind 260, 46 knots, and our ground speed of 388 and true air speed of 379. The difference being because we've got a slight tailwind, very slight tailwind, so it's just pushing us a little bit. Have a quick look at the engines, if you like. Look at that. Oh, there's a bit of a weather front here, unless I've not got the correct distance showing on my Skymaxx. We'll have a look at that after. Another engine. Quite a beastie thing, aren't they? And a wing view. Great, that heat there, isn't it? Isn't that fantastic as well? There you are. Well, it's a bit claggy up north, but it's a bit quite beautiful weather down here, isn't it? So yeah, flight time today, as you can see there, it's 10:49 our estimated time. We'll keep our eye on that. May even be a little bit sooner. We've got a tailwind all the way. So it's a couple of hours, isn't it? From now. The scenery I've got down there is Orbix, Trueworth. I've got the whole of the UK, the three bits to it: southern, central, northern. Excellent. The only thing this time of the year that you don't get is the season, is the snow. Now when we get over France, I have got I think it's Sam, isn't it? Colours and Seasons. So I've got that enabled deep winter, as you can see there. That doesn't look good when you're in Dubai or Qatar at this time of the year, because it doesn't snow there, does it? Very often. But you'll notice the difference. But the Trueworth, Orbix Trueworth feed is It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of debate now with Microsoft. I've been on the scene with FS 2020. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I mean, we've not got any study level aircraft. The fly-by-wire, by the way, is coming on leaps and bounds. It's an amazing, what a great team they are, and the progress that they've made in a matter of weeks, really, improving that 320 all the time. But it's not up to the standard of this yet. No doubt for GAA flying, that Microsoft's flight simulator is a great platform. It really is, and I look forward to some really good light aircraft in there. They're not bad. The default ones are not bad, I have to say, but I look forward to something maybe from A2A or something like that, because I have those aircraft in X.Plane. I did have prepared 3D for many years, and I only got into X.Plane, X.Plane 10. I used to think it was a little bit of a I didn't think it was believable at first. Probably I didn't spend time, but it is my definitely my platform of choice now. It is incredible, and the support that you get from the community with X.Plane and with FS as well is great. So many developers making sceneries and adding to it. It's good. Well, we're on 11.5 now, aren't we? I don't know when, or if there'll be another iteration. I'm sure there will be. But as I say, there is a bit of competition out there now, particularly with the visuals of the Microsoft package. And I certainly would recommend anybody getting that if they're into GA. But you can't fault this too much, can you? Really. So let's have a look at our arrival into. We're going miles off, aren't we? So what arrival was it? Was it the? Let's have a look again. I could use my chart, of course, but the Lorry One Papa. Lorry One Papa. It's that one. Okay. Is there anything we need to know? Maximum 250 knots all the way down there. Flight level. Yeah, well that would be normal anyway, wouldn't it? And it would bring us. Oh, I see. We could have gone to Valencia, couldn't we? To bring us round that corner. Interesting. There's a holding point at Palencia. I might actually put that in. That's 2-4. We went for 2-4 right with the Lorry One Papa. Muros. Where's Palencia not in there? Oh, it is, isn't it? There, Palencia. Yeah, we'll put that in. That'll make it a nice corner. There we go. We'll just check it once again to make sure we've no discontinuities. Clouds are looking very good, aren't they? There we have there. Just clear that out. I think they are an improvement. The colours are absolutely fantastically gorgeous, aren't they? Now maybe I should increase the distance. Let's try that. I mean, the only trouble is it does have quite an effect on the computer resources. Bear in mind I'm running a 1080 Ti and i7-700, got a lot of RAM. That's alright. 38 frames a second, live with that, can't we? So what we've done is extended the range in which we can see the clouds. You can see them out there, well out on the horizon. I'd like to wish my youngest a very happy birthday today. She'll be watching this at some point, having a big laugh. Yeah, I was thinking of doing FlyTimSim this morning, but there was nobody online at Manchester. I know that when you file a flight plan that people can get up out of bed and go on, but I've decided to lessen any complications really today. And I do intend to do some live streaming, which obviously the interaction uh, should be quite beneficial for chats and so forth. Well, passing flight level 324, climbing up to 37,000 feet. Yeah. What do you think about the clouds? What do you think about that? I think it's much improved. It was quite good before, but it's much improved. So there's a lot of people streaming out there. Some very good streamers, aren't there? You know, the real world pilots and so forth. I just thought I'd add something to it and trying to be a little bit different. It's not as simple as you think doing this, is it? Really? You know, keeping chatting. Maybe it's time for me to shut up anyway. I could do with a cup of tea. So what we'll do, we'll get to cruising altitude, 37, flight level 370, and I'll let you sit back. You have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or whatever you want to have a drink of. I don't know what time of the day it is, wherever you are. But anyway, and you sit back, relax. I'll play some music, and then what we'll do, I'll catch back up with you at the top of descent, which will be 10:25. So if you just want to sit back and enjoy the flight, I'm not expecting anything to go wrong. You never know. But I'll be back with you in an hour or so. But let's get up to cruise altitude first. Let's get it all sorted. Brighten it up a bit more. Let's have a look. Well, what do you think about that then? Very impressive. I think we're coming up to the English Channel, aren't we? There's the channel there. Is this the Southampton? It possibly is, isn't it? And that might be France over there. So having a look at our overspeed and our stall take by, you can't see the actual stall. That's the warning area really. It's got stall protection, of course. This bit here is called Coffin Corner, and you should really have quite a bit of a gap between your overspeed and your stall speed. And there we go. So Alt Star and Alt Cruise. I'm back. So there we go. So I'll put some music on for you now, and enjoy the journey over the English Channel and France. And I'll be back with you soon. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And we're about 40 miles, 40 odd miles from the top of our descent. And as you can see on the MacDo, it's asking us to enter the destination data. So what we'll do, we'll pick up on the weather first. As I said, we're using Active Sky for XP, and I can probably show you this on the screen. Just bear with me, thank you. Okay, so we can see the weather, 14 degrees, not particularly warm, is it? Surface winds 280 at 13 knots, a little bit breezy, I suppose. Visibility, plus 10 miles, and the barometric pressure is 1012. So I'll move that off the display, so we can now enter that data into the performance page. So 1012, temperature 14, and the winds 280 and 13 knots. Transition flight level is 6,000. We'll check that on the plate in a second, and we'll put 200 feet in. We'll unfly it in the final stages, of course. So let's get the chart up and put that on the screen for you as well. Okay, so there we go. So that's the plate for Manchester earlier on. What we want to do is go to the LEPA, Palma de Mallorca page, and open the chart up. And we're using the 24 right today. I think we're on the Zulu. Let's just check the MacDo again. Clear that. And the arrival was yeah, ILS 24, sorry, RY. So let's put that plate up. And there you can see it. It's actually the approach from Muros. We're actually going to use Pollenza, aren't we? And then come 238 degrees. Well, we can potentially tune in the 80s, but perhaps at Manchester it didn't work. If it's a missed approach, we climb on the runway ahead of 238 to 4,000 feet and then directed as ATC. We've not got ATC today. I'm not expecting a missed approach, but anything can happen. Got some hills over to the right hand side, you see. Here. Transition altitude, yeah, it's 6,000 feet. Okay, well that's fine. So what I want to do now is just set the barometric pressure 1012, and we'll start our descent. We'll initially drop down to 18,000 feet. arriving a little bit earlier than originally planned. We've got that nice little tailwind that we've had, as you can see there on the ND, 90 knots. So it's pushed us down quite a bit, and we're arriving now at 10:43, 136 track miles to run, and we'll have 5.5 tons left in the tanks. We have a look at the plate which I've got open here. You can see flight level 70, following this track to Palenza. So we'll continue a descent down to 7,000, flight level 70. Now I've noticed that Toliss has announced an update actually for the aircraft, and I'll read it's on Wednesday actually. I'm surprised I've missed that. I'm usually up to speed with looking at the updates, like all simmers. We love updates, don't we? Let's have a look what it says about it. I've not got this version installed at the minute, but posted on Wednesday. And some changes to it. It's version 1.2.2. Minor new features. The A321 Neo now features the flat MacDo and pitch trim MacDo disagree caution messages. The FMGS can now compute predictions across discontinuities. And a few bug fixes. Engine fire now works with the engine at idle when performing a dirto with radial in or out. The heading does not resync anymore upon insert if already in heading mode. Fix info is now available during pre-flight phase. The RMP departures from NZQN runway 23 now work as they should. Reduce speed trend and vertical flight director jitter occurring during high accelerations. Fine-tune the autopilot altitude tracking and capture. Improve LEAP engine and Pratt Whitney startup sounds. That'd be interesting. They're quite good. Anyway, brakes will not stop working below 2 knots anymore. I wondered what that was. And remove the aileron anti-droop at 321 Neo, as the feature does not exist in real life. And the livery control strings now work if there's no livery config present. So after this flight, I'll update it to that and give it another whirl. And obviously at some point we'll be back with another flight. I'm not sure where we should go next. Maybe Innsbruck. We like Innsbruck at this time of the year, don't we? It's always quite exciting going into there, particularly when the clouds base is very, very low and we're flying between the mountains. And I understand that to fly in there in real world, that you've got to have practiced first before you the pilot handling. So it's relatively easy plane to fly this, of course, you know, compared with the Boeing. I used to be a bit of a Boeing fan, but I actually love the Airbus. And having friends in the real world that fly these things, they can give me some hints and tips, and I'm sure they'd be quite embarrassed at my terrible lack of preparation today. But we know what that's all about, don't we? The old acronym. We won't go into detail, but poor performance without the correct planning. I'll tone the sounds up a little bit for you. You know, it's just taking a little bit of getting used to set all this up. Hope that's okay, not too loud. Let me know if it is. So descended now, flight level 245. Once we reach flight level 100, we'll then be ping-ponging the cabin crew. and seatbelt sign on, and of course we'll be applying the landing lights. Hope you're enjoying the flight. Hope it's not too boring. I'm sure that over time my presentation will be slightly better, but please let me know in the comments. Leave some comments for me. I don't not mind critique, providing it's sensible and positive. I think it's nice to improve on what you're doing, whatever it might be. Yeah, there's, as I was saying before, there's some good streamers out there, aren't there? You know, I used to watch Matt quite a bit, and Wycliffe, and Aussie FlyTimSim, and Captain Canada, who's quite a funny chap. I love watching his streams. And there's lots more, of course. Real 320 pilot. He's quite good and very informative, actually. We can all learn a lot from him. And of course, there's a series of tutorial videos out there, which don't take much to search. Yeah, I decided not to do FlyTimSim today. I thought let's just give it a whirl without the complication of that. So ETA showing 10:33 there now, showing 10:42 on my on the Mac do. And what do you think about these clouds? I've noticed that we're back down to 20 frames a second, so I think it is having an effect, even though we've got this update this morning that was sent. Still hitting us quite hard. We're not stuttering or anything like that, but if we were on FlyTimSim, we'd probably get flagged out. I think if it's 20 frames per second or less for a period of time, then it automatically disconnects you, which is a bit of a worry, really. But I do like the product. It's great. As I say, I'm not being sponsored for this. I have bought it, but you know, these clouds are looking quite good. Got cloud shadows as well. Maybe that's causing us a bit of a frame hit. Let's just go into Skymaxx Pro and see cloud shadows. Let's just take that off, see if it has an impact on the frame rate. So it's applying changes now. As you can see, the cloud shadows have disappeared from the water, but still not got an improvement in our frames per second. I'm going to put this back a little, and maybe I can bring this down as well, see if that has an effect for us. Let's see what happens there. I'm looking down here, by the way, at the FPS. Skymaxx Pro version 5.0.1. Passing flight level 16. About to do. And we're actually flying in real time at the moment. Obviously, when you watch this, it won't necessarily be the real time, but yeah, we're coming up to 10:30 on this Saturday morning. Rather cold. We've left the rather cold conditions back in Manchester. 0 it was when we took off, if you remember. There's been quite a bit of snow overnight. Oh, a sprinkling of snow, actually. And hopefully we should see ourselves coming on to here, and there we are. We've passed Loris. We're coming up to Posba, which you can see there. And then, as I said, we put Pollenza in as a via. Then we'll do a right turn there. We'll descend down to 5,000. We may get a minimum descent on the PFD here to tell us that you know, there is a mandatory minimum. Of course, we've got quite a lot of mountainous area. Actually, 5,500 here. So, and 7,000 on that sector there. But we're not going to go on that sector, are we? We're going to come down there towards the runway, passing flight level 130, and as you can see ahead of us, the I wouldn't call it a party island, although for some it is. I think Ibiza's more known as the party island, isn't it? Okay, so looking good, and the aircraft now reducing as we're going to be descending shortly under flight level 100, and as you know, generally a speed restriction. You can ask air traffic control to see whether or not they can give you an exemption to it, but we're not with air traffic control, so we'll follow the rules. Slowing down nicely. We could just assist it a bit with a bit of the speed brake, of course. In fact, let's do that because we need to get down. And if you like a wing view, there we go. You can see the speed brake coming out and back down to half. And this time, I not forget to put the landing lights on. I'm sorry I did that on takeoff. Very remiss of me, isn't it? As I said, I've just deployed them so they've dropped down. They're not illuminated yet, but as I said, I've got the thrustmaster auto system, the Warthog throttle controls, and I've got those set up so I can actually put you notice the speed brake warning there because I've kept it out. And as we're passing, what's the distance to run? So 40 miles. Let's select 40 miles on that, and we can see the airport. So we're at 10,000 feet now, and this is more or less at sea level, isn't it? We multiply that by 3, which would give us 30 plus. So we're about right in the descent, and as you can see with the green dot there, we are bob on, I would think. I hate being too high and having to slow it down. Now, what we can do, as we've passed there, so we'll switch the landing lights on, both left and right. We'll put the seatbelt sign on, and we've got the approach phase selected now. These eyelashes here hopefully will start slowing the aircraft down. Got it in management mode. We'll start slowing the aircraft down, and we'll deploy Plot 1 in a second or two. Let's reduce that down to, we'll do it in hundreds. I think we said 5,500 was the minimum, And if we keep our eye on the primary flight display as well, I'll reduce it below 5,500, and there you go. So flight level 50 is the minimum at this point. So let's go back up that, and you'll notice that where it is magenta at the minute there, it'll turn blue. Okay, so we can arm a localizer and landing system. Descending at 1,300 feet a minute, very gentle. I sometimes start the descent a bit earlier to make it a smoother run, and we don't need to use the speed base quite as much when we do that. But the aircraft should start reducing speed. I can't reduce it, of course, manually by pulling the speed out and put in. Let's go to 220. And you notice the engines are at idle thrust now. Pull. The aircraft's not slowing down simply because we are at idle. But what we can do, once again, to just assist that, let's bring it down, because what I want to be able to do is deploy first stage of flap at least. 22 miles from Palma. Slowing down nicely. So to help with that, let's go to our wing view and select flap 1. So your slats are coming out on the front. There we go. You can see the slats, the leading edge flaps, and back to the trailing edge flaps. And past 6,000, so put the Q and H, and let's slow the aircraft down a bit more. Hopefully it should now start to decelerate. And we'll arm the localizer. Whoa, we don't want that, do we? Oh, that's not very good at all. Oh, I'm gonna get some really bad comments from my friends. What are you doing? What are you doing? They'll be saying. Oh, you dozy. And reduce down to, let's say 180, do you think? Yeah, for now. And we did deploy the flat 1 and the slats, you know, well above. So arm the approach mode, and we can use both autopilots for now. As I say, we'll land fly the last little bit. So flap 2. Give us a bit more drag, won't it? Landing lights are on. Very shortly we'll get the page up. And I'm looking at about 5 miles for gear down, flap 3, and then full flap. And reduce the range now to 20 miles. And we've got 15 nautical miles, 14 nautical miles to the runway. And we're on 24 right today. Now, as you can see, Mallorca is covered in snow. I don't think it is in real life, although we know they've had snow in Spain over the last week or two. And but I don't know whether they've had any Mallorca. I would doubt it very much, being an island. I think it's unlikely. But as I said before, that's SAM, whereby in the UK with the Orbex True Earth, we don't have seasons with the SAM. Oh, look a balloon. um, Outside of that, and with the X.Plane scenery as it is, you do get this snow effect, which I think is quite good, but not necessarily as it should be. I did author scenery here for Mallorca, and I will look at putting some more author scenery in. I take most of it off to save space, as you know, it takes a lot of space up. So it is in manage mode again. Speed is manage mode, so you can see the speed is coming back nicely. 10 miles to run, and you can reduce that one as well. What I need to do is, if you remember, the missed approach is 4,000 feet on the heading of 238. So we'll just bump that in case we do need to do a go around. And because it can be a bit tricky, that because we'll use auto brake medium today. I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe that if you get potentially slippy conditions, you should be using medium brake. Anti-skids on, of course. So 8.4, 5 miles to run. The ILS 109.9, or decimal 9. So, speed in manage mode, brake, auto brake set to medium. We've captured the glide slope here, captured the localizer. We've got Cat 3 landing facility. We've set the radio altimeter to 200, and we've got autopilot 1 and 2, and flight directors 1 and 2, and also auto throttle is on. So now the great thing is that page has come up, so it's showing us that we need to put our landing gear down, we need to check the cabin and arm the spoilers, and flaps full. So we're six miles out. Why not? We can configure now. So landing gear is going down. You can see it there. The gear handle and flap 3. You can see that. Have a quick wing view. There we go. And let's ping the cabin. Arm the spoilers, the ground spoilers, and flaps full. 5 miles to run. We'll knock the autopilot off. We'll keep the auto throttle on for now. Autopilot disconnect, and let's get the nose wheel lights on. They're all on. Fantastic. And cabin crew seats for landing. Slightly below the glide. Just pull the nose up slightly. It's looking good. Still on the localizer. We should be looking at the pappies there. We should have 2 reds, 2 whites. Still a bit low. If we're too low, we'll get 3 reds, or 4 reds if we're very low. And if we're too high, we'll get more. So the balance is 2 reds, 2 whites on the pappy, which you can see on the right-hand side of the runway 24 right. So I've been cleared to land. So I'm cleared to land runway 24 right. Easy 5-4 Golf Mike. A little bit high. You can see got the 3 whites. Not easy to see with the snowy scene. It's not your usual scene, that is it, for coming into Mallorca. It's usually quite dry and warm looking. Okay, so I'm a bit all over the place here. I'm doing all right there. And once we touch down, we'll use idle reverse. Got plenty of runway here today, and we've got the still a little bit low, and off center as well. So I'm sure my friends will be saying what a rubbish pilot I am. Okay. Mm.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
Ooh. Oh dear. And can't keep it on the centre line. I'd reverse. 80 knots. 60 knots. Manual braking. And we'll exit here and we'll find a stand. Well, it's a bit of a bumpy landing. What was it? 422 feet a minute. Alright, we can do better than that. I don't think it was utterly buttily, was it? Okie dokie, so let's come off the runway here. And gently braking. And we'll turn the landing lights off. And the strobes. And 3 seconds again to start the APU. 1, 2, 3. I think that'll do us. We'll dim the taxi light just to taxi light. I don't want to blind everybody. So let's put the flaps up. And retract the ground spoilers. And you can see the slats will start coming in as well. And there we are, flaps retracted. Very nice. Let's knock the fly director off. Landing system on both sides. It's looking very nice, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mallorca. What looks like a chilly day, but it's actually 14 degrees, so it's not too cold. And it's certainly not conducive with all that snow. Yeah, interestingly, you'll notice that some of the aircraft, the static aircraft, have got liveries, as you can see in the distance, and yet some of them have not. And if there's anybody knows why that's happening, I'd be grateful if you can leave it in the comments below, please. Now then, let's have a little look. I think we might be a bit too big to park next to that one there. I think no, we're all right, aren't we? So possibly a little bit of asymmetric thrust. Yeah, love those sounds. Let's have a look on the outside view. Ooh, like to be straight, don't we? Here we go. And we want the 320, I think, not the 331. Here we go. And parking brake set. Let's go back. In the flight deck, the APU is available, so we can now switch the engines off. Have a look out of there, and hopefully we can bring that up using manual mode. On this is on the jetway. There we go. It's coming in to join our aircraft. So let's make sure the lights are off and the beacon's off, and release the seatbelt sign. Well, thank you very much for flying with FlyTimSim today. I hope it is my first video, so you know there's a lot of improvement needed. I do get it, but you know we've got to start somewhere, and you know it's been a long time watching all the other great content providers for flight simming over the years, and thought I'd have a little go myself. And there we are. Well, thank you once again, and I will open the doors. And you can hear the door opening behind us. That's quite good, isn't it? And we'll open the cargo doors. And have a very pleasant time in wherever you are, but in Mallorca today. Thank you. We can also actually at this point connect the ground power, turn the APU off, save a bit of fuel there. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope I'll be back with you very soon on another journey somewhere pretty exotic, or maybe somewhere very cold. Well, thank you once again, and I'll see you all soon. But please leave some comments, and as I say, we'll up our game, and eventually I'll well, we might as well just finish this off by getting some ground services, ground handling in there to unload all the bags, and refueling. Get the catering trucks with us. I'm not going to use the buses because we're going to just disembark through the jetway. Oh, we've got an ambulance there. I didn't know we got anybody suffering any illnesses, so I don't think we need the ambulance, do we? No, it's just appeared. I don't. Ah, it's there. Yeah, I don't need that. Lovely. So all the bags are being taken off now. Fantastic, isn't it? Really fantastic. What a great sim. What a great aircraft. And thank you once again. And I'll see you very soon. Thanks for flying with FlyTimSim.